Hey guys, welcome to week 3. Respect your elders. We got back on track last week.
Yeah, for the most part, most teams did.
Not so good with injuries, but
No, it's been a rough first 2 weeks of the season for a lot of teams.
yeah, if the same pace keeps up, we're gonna be getting into like the 6th string.
Those IRs are going to be full.
Yeah,
All right, let's get into that recap of last week. Everyone wants to know the results of our game because they clearly haven't checked the app yet. It was a nail biter all the way to the very bitter end. That was a great game. Both of our teams looked like we expected, except for, moment of silence for Nick Chubb. And then the overarching aspect, the dads versus the non-dads. We waited till the end. We waited till after bedtime when you guys were having your, bedtime duties, and that's when we took our shot. We got it. We got it done. This is the non-dads overall, 3-2. So we already talked about our game. Waited till Monday Night Football. Garrett did the same thing. He had a bunch of Monday Night players with the doubleheader. He was able to pull out the victory over Colt, just barely. And then Aaron scored 13 points with 45 seconds left in that game.
man, I can't imagine being in Chris's shoes and being like, all right, well, Aaron's on his last player here. Got 45 seconds left in the game. I'm winning easy.
Right, yeah, you go put your phone down, you go to make another plate of nachos or something, you come back and you're like, no, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Why is this game still on?
Aaron just takes the lead and gets the median. That was the median decider. The 0-2 in the last 45 seconds is not fun.
No, yeah, that one's going to sting for a bit.
Yeah. But the two dads that did get the victory, Miller, the highest score of the year, almost hit 150 there. And then the other dad, Alex, 62 points, all he needed to take out Jacob.
Classic situation of dad strength,
Yeah.
Sometimes you like your little brother, like stiff-armed him, and he's just swinging away, but he can't reach it. That's what Alex did. He just pulled out the dad strength.
Yeah, Miller just took off on a dead sprint and didn't look back. Chase was still trying to catch him, and Alex just held Jacob back.
Yeah, I'm sure Jacob wants to put this week behind him very quickly.
And if we take a look at the standings, we had 3 people move up, with you and Aaron taking the number 1 and number 2 spots, and then Miller with that top score jumping up 5 spots. 6 people falling. Over half the league just fell in the standings. That's crazy to me. Jacob, as we mentioned, falling those 4 spots. That is rough. And Alex didn't move, so that's a positive. Got the win.
I don't know if positive is the right word, but yeah.
He didn't go down.
He didn't go down. That's fair.
Talking about Alex, he's got the defense this year. It's weird too because Alex normally, we always warn about that Alex apocalypse because he'll have a 130, 150 point game somewhere out there. This year, it looks like he's just like, I'm just going to drag everybody down. He's using that dad strength like you talked about. After 2 weeks, his points against is 103, which would not have been enough to hit the median for last week. Garrett on that same page of taking those low-scoring wins, and could be something to look at between them two. If they can find some median wins, taking those low-scoring wins, that's half the battle. So,
I mean, he hasn't scored over 65 yet on the season, so I don't think it's a sustainable practice.
he hasn't scored over 65, but his opponents haven't scored over 60. So,
Yeah, that's completely fair. So, doing just enough.
I mean, Jacob has a weird team, but he scored 104 last week.
Yeah,
so.
it's not a 42 or whatever he had weird team. It's just a 110 weird team.
Yeah, exactly. And even Garrett scored 86 this past week. Last week against Alex couldn't score over 60. So something to look into. Garrett gets the low scoring wins, but it seems more like times it right with the team. Like last week, 85 to 86, getting that victory. Alex, it's feeling like he's doing something.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely something to keep an eye on. This might be the new Alex Apocalypse. He is truly like a storm out at sea. He's trying to take your ship and bring it to the bottom of the ocean. And I think, maybe he needs to rechange his. If it continues, we might have to have some like Davy Jones discussions about his team name.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he is the bad boys. We just didn't know what that meant.
That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah, jumping into week 3 games. Like you mentioned, you are playing him. I swear, if you score under 60 or something crazy, this will be very telling if he does something here.
Yeah, I mean, all-time average against Alex, 123 to 87 is our average score. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little worried.
If he pulls this off somehow and you score poorly, he gets the W, we're throwing up all the warnings and sirens and everything if that happens.
Yeah, I think if that happens, we have to launch a full-scale investigation, maybe report his account to Sleeper, I don't know.
We're gonna have to do something. It's one thing if there's like something there where they're cheating and scoring a lot. Another thing if he's making the other team not score enough.
What is this voodoo that you're affecting the other teams, not just yourself?
Gonna find all the voodoo dolls in his house. But yeah, then we got number 6 versus number 7. Pentaji Pubo team versus the Unknowns. Garrett would have beat him last week. Jacob would have beat him the week before. They both played Alex already and had that ridiculous sub 60 score. So,
and looking at their average score too, I mean, 90 to 100. This is a very classic Garrett game score wise. So, I mean, if Garrett keeps him in that sub 100 range, I think that's Garrett's preferred terrain.
Yeah.
So, Jacob's really gonna have to watch out.
that's that unknown that you slide into a sub 100 and he just pulls you down. Trade Station versus Abilene Woodpeckers, me and Miller. Number 8 versus number 4. Unfortunately for me, I am the 8.
You've had a bit of an unlucky start to the season,
Yeah.
opponent-wise, team-wise.
Lucky for Miller this week, I am not starting Saquon Barkley, Nick Chubb, or Alvin Kamara. You would like to even out the odds a little bit and just wipe off your 3 top players. That'd be nice of you to do that.
Honestly, just have him take out Josh Allen, and I think it makes it pretty even.
Yeah, I will accept that.
Yeah. All right, you heard it, Mir. Bench Josh Allen. No quarterback for you this week. Or you can start a quarterback.
Yeah, we'll see what that. I'm not looking. This isn't going to be a fun week for me at all.
No, probably not.
I'm getting like a bye week before the bye weeks happen.
Yeah, except you can still have to do the bye weeks later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not having fun.
Yeah, I mean, and we talked about it pretty much all offseason about how much depth you have compared to most people. So we're just really putting that to the test.
I had the running back depth, and I had a bunch of teams reaching out like, "Hey, you got the running back depth, and I need some running backs. Let me get it." And I kept declining offers because I was scared, and apparently rightfully so. So I'm sorry for declining all those offers, but also I'm not feeling that sorry right now. And next up, we got Mahomes Improvement versus AC1 Purdy. Whew, that is 8-0.
Yeah, and that average score is rough.
Yeah.
140 to 98. Chris does not play around when he plays Colt. He takes it serious. He comes to work, and he beats the ever-living snot out of Colt's team.
Yeah. I did some digging, and I think I know what's going on here. The first 2 years of our Dynasty League, they had to play each other round 1 of the playoffs, and Colt beat Chris, knocked him out of both of the first 2 playoffs of our league's history.
So Chris is holding a little bit of a grudge, we think, here.
That's what it seems like. Yeah, Chris is not taking it easy on him, getting knocked out of the playoffs round 1 both years. That'll piss you off a little bit.
That average score, I just can't get over it. 140 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, that is just...
For 8 games.
Yeah.
That's a wild thing to keep up that high. If this is an upset here, if Colt gets his number 1 or his first win, curious if we'll see some grilling. I know that technically Chris put him at number 9, 8-0.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I mean, it doesn't quite fit the criteria that Colt put down, but I think if you get your first win against someone, in year 5,
you're 6 now.
You're 6, right? Yeah. So I think it's only fair at that point.
Yeah, that would. Maybe you can fry something. You don't have to grill it, but you can fry something up. Hungry Hush Puppies versus What'll It Take? Aaron and Chase. Aaron, very similar to Chris and Cole. Chase does have the 1 win, but Aaron does not take it easy on Chase.
At least Chase is getting over 100 on average, which Colt couldn't manage. But yeah, 133, also a very high average for a 7-game spread. These are business trips for Aaron and Chris. These are not, they don't take them lightly.
No, not at all. And it's funny too, because like most of the years, Aaron and Chase right next to each other. And funny enough, they're the only pair of teams that had each other higher than themselves. Chase ranked Aaron higher than himself, and Aaron ranked Chase higher than himself. Yeah, we'll have to see who was correct. Somebody's going to be right and not get the win.
Yeah, true.
That one game that Chase was able to beat Aaron, he had to score 160 and won by 6.
That's, yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty much all the games so far. Like you said, some volatile scoring so far. You and Aaron, the only two to keep the median victories rolling, number 1 and 2.
Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Alex and Garrett, only ones to not beat the median, but out of their 4 games, they have won 3 of those head-to-head. So they thrive down there underneath the median. They just in the deep somewhere.
Lurking in the depths.
Yeah. You go into the unknown first, and then you go further and you see some bad boys.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. I'm genuinely terrified to play Alex this week.
Standings, most people tied right now, only 2 weeks. So a lot of movement could definitely happen.
Let's try to get 6 people going up this week. We had 6 people go down after last week's game. Let's try to reverse it this week. And hopefully I'm the one that just doesn't move. Let me just go 2-0, stay at the top.
Yeah. That'll be pretty crazy.
Looking at the teams, like who I expect to rebound this week, I'm expecting big things out of Jacob. I think his team, stop screwing around. Get it together, boys.
Yeah. I mean, he's facing that other low-scoring win team, so see if he can get out of that unknown area, find some oxygen out there. I want Colt to get that one win. I know it sounds like I root against Chris a lot. I don't want him to win because he's got 2 names. I stare at him the whole episode.
Maybe we need to turn the trophy
Yeah.
so you don't have to see it.
See his name so much. So
Your name's there too.
that's true. On half of one.
He's got 2, you've got half.
Yeah. What the heck, Chris?
To the fans and everybody in Purdy Nation, I'm sorry. Extremely sorry. We were hoping for an undefeated season. That was my goal, something AC1 Purdy's never done here. But I promise you one thing, a lot of good will come from this. You will never see any manager in the entire country play as hard as I will play the rest of the season, and you will never see someone push their fantasy team as hard as I will push them the rest of the season. And you will never see a fantasy team play harder than we will the rest of the season. God bless.